listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, the place to learn about new technology and technological advances before they become mainstream. This is the Cisco edition, taking your business a level up. Let's get into it.
Welcome to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. I'm your host, Keri Roberts, and my guest today is Kevin Wills, a Senior Solutions Sales Specialist at Ingram Micro. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for being here today.
Hi, Keri. Thanks for having me.
So we're talking a lot about small business today, and I think one of the things small business owners have a hard time with is they either don't have an IT team or they're doing a lot of things themselves. What are the most important things when it comes to IT that a small business must have to run efficiently and securely, do you think?
So the small business market is anything but small. And that being said, there's definitely going to be some challenges. Small business owners need to have a fully functional network launched very quickly in a startup scenario, allowing them to connect their systems and open for business. Like you said, business owners with no IT staff are going to need to provide a secure connection for their internal business systems, but also provide their guests with Wi-Fi, and most often at little or even no extra cost. Furthermore, they need more than just connectivity. They're going to need to encourage loyalty, understand buyer behavior, and essentially grow their business the entire time. So it's going to be important for them to utilize technology that is easy to deploy, scale, and which also enhances productivity. Cisco definitely offers small business customers a comprehensive range of solutions, and with business owners exploring cloud-managed IT solutions, Meraki is going to be a great fit for small business owners.
Now, as you mentioned, Wi-Fi is always a big topic. And I think most consumers expect every place they go to have Wi-Fi. But of course, business owners want to make sure not only their customers are using it, but that it's safe and it's not slowing down their business. So when we're talking about cloud networking for small businesses, what does that look like? And can you explain it for those that may not be as well versed in technology and are small business owners?
Yeah, Cisco Meraki are leaders in cloud-managed IT. The solution is a comprehensive cloud platform that provides hardware that is ready to go out of the box and has the management and analytics in a single pane of glass dashboard. Meraki's secure Wi-Fi provides a simple, secure platform that you don't have to maintain and manage it, but again, it does include that single, easy-to-use dashboard. From a security standpoint, business owners can ensure proper use of the internet for both the business itself and guests. It's delivered reliably with global data centers, ensuring service availability. Also, businesses can leverage metrics for resource planning, promoting their brand, and improving the customer experience. This is actually a nice conversation to have now, as Meraki recently released the newest generation of Meraki Wireless, and those are the MR36, 46, and 56, which are Wi-Fi 6 certified, which is a big topic of conversation. The actual hardware models are going to be based on the bandwidth, et cetera, but the Wi-Fi 6 specifically offers increased speed, reduced latency, as well as greater range and power efficiency. Meraki definitely has a lot of success stories with small retail shops, food businesses, things like that. And another option for these small businesses is going to be Meraki Go, and I can touch on that as well.
Before you do, can you explain a little bit more about Wi-Fi 6? What do most people have and are using, and is it really that much more of a difference for them? So as you were saying, Meraki Go is an easy way for small businesses to run their business from an app, and it keeps their customers happy with the cloud networking. Can you tell us more about Meraki Go, which is new at Ingram as well, and what it does and how it's helping the small business?
From an Ingram Micro standpoint, Meraki Go is something we are now able to stock in our warehouses and offer to our reseller partners. That is something we're very excited about heading into the new Cisco fiscal year. Meraki Go has been around from a Meraki standpoint, but can now be fulfilled through Ingram Micro. Meraki Go is designed specifically with small businesses in mind. It's essentially the cloud-based networking solution for small businesses. Meraki Go offers more affordable access points, security gateways, and network switch product portfolio. That's essentially going to be it. That's going to be the whole portfolio. These products can be installed in minutes with minimal time, resources, and expertise. And, we kind of touched on that a few minutes ago when we were discussing challenges for small business owners with perhaps no IT staff. And all of this can simply be managed through the Meraki Go mobile app, which is literally putting the network control right in the business owner's hands. From more of a spec standpoint, there's going to be no additional license to purchase. like there is with standard Meraki Enterprise. The license with Meraki Go is quote unquote included in the hardware. And the hardware will also have automatic firmware updates to ensure that continuous security. Users can also create up to 4 Wi-Fi networks, which I like to call out as well. And all of the setup, like I said, the alerts and viewing of the analytics is done in the Meraki Go mobile app. So it really is allowing the business owner to manage and customize the network settings to their individual business needs.
Now, for partners that are listening to this that are selling Meraki, how is Meraki Go different?
Yeah, so good question. Essentially, Meraki Go is going to be geared towards end customers with under 50 employees compared to standard Meraki Enterprise solutions that they have product options to fit any size customer. Meraki Go is also designed specifically for customers with one physical location, which is important to note. A lot of times we see Meraki Go being a good match for these small businesses like those small shops that I did mention before with maybe only a few employees, so maybe even like 5 or less employees. From a use case standpoint, Meraki Go is geared towards standard business use and guest Wi-Fi, where Meraki Enterprise is all of that, plus plenty of other uses in collaboration, video streaming, and advanced security requirements. And like I've mentioned a few times, from a management standpoint, Meraki Go utilizes the phone app for iOS and Android, and that's going to be compared to the full cloud-based Meraki dashboard on a browser that most reseller partners are used to when managing full-stack Meraki solutions for their customers. In a standard Meraki solution, you'd be able to kind of look at what websites a certain client is going to, if they're overusing it, being able to block it or do something with that specific client. From a Meraki Go standpoint, it is going to be really geared towards specific customers and being able to kind of pull data from a smaller group of folks that you're already targeting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what kind of data is it showing? So let's say you have Tom is going to, this yoga studio every day for private lessons or something. Like, is there some sort of way that we're getting data on him that would be helpful for running the business in a better way or deciding what they need in a facility, something of that nature?
Yeah, again, it's an easy way to, again, if a customer connects to your Wi-Fi, if you've ever been to, again, I know you mentioned a yoga studio, but if you've been to a restaurant, in order to sign on to the guest Wi-Fi, it kind of either makes you put in your email address or directs you right to their website. So then you're automatically connecting to the customer by then having their email address, or they're going to be going onto your website and you'd be able to monitor the traffic on your website because it redirects them right there, maybe what products they're looking at. And specifically a little bit more in a retail scenario, which is, I think, a common use case. Being able to, again, go see the customer is going to this certain section where these products are located and connecting there, or being able to see that they are, not going to a certain section or searching certain products online and then, getting to a purchase from that standpoint in a retail store scenario, or maybe even think of like a grocery store or a small market or something like that. That's the data. Again, I kind of mentioned just being able to have that customer relatability, and then getting that data from the customer to kind of build best business practice based on what the customer is currently doing while they're there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think, it's interesting because we had someone else on the show that said something like, if a customer is doing something, if they're getting something for free, like the client, the business owner, the business is getting data for them. That's kind of like what you're doing, right? Versus if you paid for your own Wi-Fi. So it's still securely done. I mean, somebody's choosing to give their information to use the Wi-Fi, and then that company, again, can use that data to better serve them. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a snapshot of what's happening on a small business owner's network. Meraki Go is going to give them a lot of information that just didn't exist before, should they not be using the Meraki Go solution. In all three use cases, whether it's hospitality, retail, or small office, the goal with Meraki Go, I think, is to offer guest Wi-Fi experience, right? So if somebody is sitting in a hotel lobby or walking around the store, or just accessing the internet when they're waiting in your small office, for the business owner to be able to adjust the usage, create secure guest logins, block certain websites, default the internet to the company website, or in a specific retail situation, be able to kind of track where the usage is heavy, where the customer is going in the store, if they're not going to this aisle or something like that. Being able to do that remotely on the phone and easily be able to track that data is where Meraki comes into play in all specific situations. The product portfolio is way less expensive, and it's way more kind of geared towards the small businesses in terms of the portfolio that's available. It's literally going to be 3 products. So again, purchasing it is not complicated. Getting it installed is not complicated, and they're up and running in minutes. And again, if you're taking a look at like a bar or something, that just by doing that, the setup time is nothing. They're not going to have an IT staff. And once they're set up, they're just going to be able to have that snapshot, those analytics of what customers are doing while they're sitting there at the bar on the network, and maybe even pulling information like their email address and things like that. So the product portfolio isn't crazy. It isn't tech. It isn't heavy tech savvy products like Meraki full stack solutions. But really, what the customer is going to get out of it, and I know we've kind of mentioned it a few times, would be that Wi-Fi experience and being able to pull that data. So, not to beat a dead horse, but that's really what the product line is geared towards.
Yeah, well, anytime we can gather more data and in a simple way for a small business owner, like we said, who is sometimes a person of 1 or 5 or 10, is extremely helpful to them. Now, I'm curious, how is Meraki Go helping customers that are either still not able to be physically in their place of business or have had to limit interactions or do more sales online during these current times in 2020?
Yeah, so based on everything we've mentioned thus far, with Meraki Go, with that being the quote unquote entry level line intended for startups and small businesses with little or no IT experience, this would apply to a home office situation as well. Again, just think about a small shop with 1 to 5 employees, for example, having to transition to a work from home scenario quickly, especially if these employees are all in their individual homes. Being able to order a small solution that is ready to go out of the box with no setup time, that's going to be crucial for continuing business as normal.
Now, for partners, Cisco has a current incentive program for selling Meraki. Can you talk about how this works and how they can leverage the Cisco CMSP program to add more value to their managed service?
Yeah, so the CMSP program, and that's going to stand for the Cisco Cloud and Managed Service Program. That's really geared towards Cisco and Meraki partners reaping more benefits by expanding their business into the realm of managed services. So this is an incentive program from Cisco holistically. And I've worked with partners, and partners may already have a managed service practice, but not selling Meraki or vice versa. So this program can definitely fit partners of all expertise. This is an incentive program, so it's not exactly changing a reseller's Meraki purchasing model. And it isn't necessarily a Cisco partner level or certification. This is a managed service provider program. It isn't necessarily geared towards just Meraki. Cisco EN and security products do fall under this program as well. But with Meraki being a great fit in a managed service practice, Meraki is definitely going to be a huge topic of conversation when we're discussing this program. A couple of benefits within the program are going to be additional discounting for a reseller, as well as being able to unlock back-end MDF funds. And that's going to stand for Marketing Development Funds. So the benefits from a discounting perspective, resellers would be able to realize an extra 8% discount off of list price than they normally realize when enrolled in this program. Those discounts are going to be unlocked in Cisco's Commerce Workspace tool, so CCW. Any resellers enrolled in this program would be able to register their Meraki deal, select the CMSP incentive, and essentially just have those discounts applied upfront and approved in CCW. And from an MDF perspective, once enrolled in this program, a sliding scale would start once a reseller reaches 25K in bookings. Again, that's going to be in Meraki, Cisco Enterprise Networking, and some security products like AMP and Umbrella. And these funds are going to be realized in Cisco's Marketing Velocity Central tool. And once the resellers start realizing those MDF funds, they can be applied to many different both internal and external activities. From an internal perspective, resellers can apply the funds to trainings, certifications, incentives for your internal sales force, or external activities such as traditional marketing, advertising, company events, and things like that. So this MDF scale will slide from $1,500 all the way to $15,000. And again, that's going to be, dependent on certain bookings and different criteria once enrolled in this program. So overall, some resellers may already have the discounting that I discussed, but those MDF funds are going to be a simple benefit that some MSPs may not be realizing by not being enrolled in this program. So again, this program is geared towards managed service providers and kind of ramping up the business from that perspective by being able to apply some extra discounts and having those back-end MDF funds. From an enrollment perspective, resellers can essentially go right online into Cisco's program management and application tool, and that is at cisco.com/go/PMA. And essentially, they're going to be proving to Cisco that you, the reseller, are a managed service provider by answering some simple partner discovery questions, as well as providing some documentation that you are providing a managed service to your end customers. So I know that was a lot of info. I do have all of that info. And anybody that is in the reseller community can reach out to me at Ingram Micro to go over that program in more detail.
And before we kind of get all your contact information, the one question we ask all of our guests on this podcast show is, where do you see technology going within the next year?
So obviously, with the current global environment and uncertain future, we are seeing some small businesses affected more and more when people are working remotely from home. So keeping that with that trend, Cisco Meraki does have solutions to securely connect remote workers and devices, and they have done a really good job of communicating that, what those kind of solutions look like. So a couple examples, maybe more from a technical aspect. Cisco does have the Meraki Z3 series teleworker gateway appliance, and that's really an enterprise class firewall, VPN gateway, and router. Each of those models do offer wireless connectivity for both corporate and home networks that provide 5 wired gigabit Ethernet ports, one with PoE to connect and power an IP phone, for example. And these models are really designed to securely extend the power of Meraki Cloud Managed Networking to employees, IT staff, and executives that are working from home. And again, there's going to be zero touch setup for the end user. And again, recommended deployment for the Z3 series is still going to be around 5 clients or so. And one version of the Z3 comes with a built-in support for an LTE cellular WAN connection. And that's going to be important because this would allow locations without a traditional internet provider to access the internet via a cellular carrier, offering great deployment flexibility for really any environment. I know I touched on the Meraki MR wireless access point as well, and this can act as a self-contained teleworker VPN device. It can be used to wirelessly connect small branch offices, teleworker or home offices, temporary site offices. And when you think about temporary site offices, that's going to be relevant with, pop-up healthcare sites, for example, in the recent environment, as well as traveling employees on the road. And they'll be able to connect back to the corporate LAN and provide access to corporate resources back at headquarters. Again, with no setup needed by the end user, just plug and play. And the predefined settings by your corporate IT staff will be pushed to the device and automatically configured. So really back to the original question after all that, there's going to be a lot more adapting to these remote workforce strategies moving forward.
And you provided a lot of information, like you said, a lot of detail here today. If people want to learn more about what we talked about or they have questions, where can they do that?
Meraki Online is going to be a great resource. So www.cisco.meraki.com is going to be a resource for anything related to their full stack product portfolio. They have all product families and models listed on there, and anyone can compare the specs at any time. And also the Cisco Meraki Go website is www.meraki-go.com. So pretty easy URLs there. From an Ingram Micro perspective, I'm going to be the subject matter expert and point of contact here at Ingram when it comes to Meraki. So anything that I talked about from a program perspective, a promo perspective, or anything related to the products and Meraki Go, anybody can feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Kevin Wills, and that's WILLS. My email address is kevin.wills@ingrammicro.com. And you can reach me by phone at 1-800-456-8000, and my direct extension is 66486.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for sharing your knowledge on the new Meraki Go program with us today. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing more soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Keri.
If you liked this episode or have a question, join the discussion on Twitter at Ingram Tech Soul with the hashtag B2B Tech Talk. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, Cisco Edition, taking your business a level up, hosted by Keri Roberts. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production by Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro production handled by Laura Burton and Christine Fan. To not miss an episode, subscribe today in your favorite podcast platform.